What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN, your number 81 show in the top 100 of wrestling podcasts. Thank you for everybody that made that happen. Thank you to the No Gimmicks podcast fan group for tuning in to us. Before we get into the show, let's shout out these sponsors. Shout out to Fiverr and Plugs Earbuds. Shout out to everybody who has joined the Patreon. Shout out to Ishii, who has joined us on the $3 tier on the Patreon out of the No Gimmicks podcast fan group. Thank you for showing your support. For everybody else, if you are listening to this podcast right now, that means you are not a part of the Patreon. So go to www.patreon.com/thatfeelingpodcast and subscribe for as little as $3, and you will be entered in for some great stuff. We got great content. We have an interview today on the show. The City Bois from Dog Pound Championship Wrestling will be stopping by, and we will be having an interview with them. We do have our Final Four. The No Gimmicks podcast fan group has chosen their Mount Rushmore. We'll get to that later, as well as the interview. But I digress. We do have the Bandcamp. Go to thatfeeling.bandcamp.com. $3 will get you the entire catalog. We do have merch over at the Teespring, including some Patreon exclusive merch that we created for the $15 and $20 tiers over at Patreon. So go to teespring.com, search That Feeling Podcast, and pick up some merch, rep your shows, take pictures in it, post it to the social media handles, tag us. You might get something good out of it. Now, fabulous Frank Dee.
Yes, Mr. Blak Makk, sir.
Wrestlemania season is upon us. We are in the week. Saturday night starts night one of WrestleMania. So it was only right that we come on and, we look at WrestleMania current to give our thoughts. And we're also going to be doing a look back on the WrestleMania of our choice. We talked about it. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania 5 tonight. Very good choice, by the way.
Yeah, WrestleMania 5, the mega powers explode.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Because Macho Man had to put, Hulk in his place because Hulk had lust in his eyes for Elizabeth.
We've talked about this before.
You know what I'm saying? So he had the lust. But you're right.
Looking at Elizabeth. You're lusted in your eyes for her.
That's a very horrible Macho Man impersonation, by the way.
Yeah, fuck it. It happens.
No, you're right. We're on the road to WrestleMania this weekend. Starts this Friday night with the Hall of Fame ceremony, which I think they're going to pull some big angle with Rey Mysterio. So be checking and be looking out for that. But, let's get into it because we had a very, very interesting convo before we started the show like we normally do. So let's go ahead and get right into that shit. All right, let's go ahead and let's get our predictions out the way because I got some shit to say in public.
If you will.
If you will.
All right, so WrestleMania 39, night one, starting this Saturday, kicking off that show is none other than John Cena going up against Austin Theory.
I am picking Austin Theory.
Ooh, that is a bold choice.
There's no reason at this point for John Cena at this stage where he is not even part-timer, just an attraction that's going to come in anytime he wants to do something with someone. It's time to make Austin Theory. So I'm picking Austin Theory to win and retain the WWE United States Heavyweight Championship.
I, too, am going to go Austin Theory for the exact same reason you said. I think with a legend like Cena in a match like this, they're kicking it off. I think it's a perfect time to give that baton off to Austin Theory. There are comparisons to Cena and Austin Theory. I don't see it, but if you're going to have a WrestleMania match and you want to get that rub off on someone, then yes, perfect guy to do it. John Cena. I think this may be a great match. I don't have it ready to be my show stiller, but I think it's a hell of a way to kick off WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you on that.
All right, cool. So we got a men's showcase match. Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders. I don't like this match at all. I'm pretty sure this is probably a pre-show match.
Yeah, I'm not digging this match at all. There's no story to it. It's just basically just a match to get people on a card.
Yeah.
I personally think that the Street Profits deserve better. They could have been inserted into another program. This goes back to the reason why it's a bad thing to have
one set of titles.
Exactly, your championships. Unified, because it's not good for the other tag teams. Like the tag division in WWE is very stagnant to begin with. It's been dominated really by one tag team, and that one tag team has been destroying everybody. So I'm not digging this match. But if I'm gonna pick a team, I'm gonna pick the team that I think is over, and that's gonna be the Street Profits.
Okay. I will go. It's hard for me to say Street Profits. I want them to win, but for some reason, I feel like Alpha Academy might take this one because they've been doing a lot with Otis and seeing if there's any dissent there. But I think they've been kind of strong in the past couple of weeks to where I feel like if you throw them in this match, first of all, by cancellation, Viking Raiders and Strowman and Ricochet, there's only two tag teams that could possibly win this match. It's probably either the Street Profits or Alpha Academy. I'm leaning more towards the Alpha Academy.
Well, here's the thing. So why are the Maximum Male Models not involved in this match to further the story with Otis? Like, you know what I mean? They could have put another tag team.
It would have made sense. It would have made sense.
It just I don't get that part.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm willing to give the Maximum Male Models a chance because I think that their gimmick is just so outrageous it might get over.
Right.
So,
Right.
But whatever. I'm picking Street Profits for that.
Okay. All right. Then we have a women's showcase. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya and Shotzi, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus two mysteries. The two mysteries in my brain win this match. I don't care who they are. They're probably gonna go over.
I don't have any interest in this match, so I'm gonna. I got no comment.
All right. Intercontinental Championship. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Gunther. This may be a fucking banger.
No, it's going to be a banger. It's going to be probably one of the stiffest matches on the card. I'm going to go with Gunther to retain.
Yeah, I'm going
simply
with Gunther
because Gunther's theme is fire.
They
got a lot of shit music in WWE right now.
Gunther's not one of them.
Death Rebel, whatever they're horrible. But Gunther, his music is on. It's pop. So I'm gonna go with him.
Okay, I'm going with you. There, and I think it's a perfect match. I think McIntyre and Sheamus did have some issues earlier on. I think that may come to a head. You may see them enter a feud out of it. Gunther retains, looks strong, and I think he's on the bigger and better things. They seriously need to put him in a higher spot because that man is walking money at this point.
Yeah, you could have had Gunther versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, you could have.
But we'll We'll get to Bobby in a minute.
Yeah,
'Cause
Edge
I
versus
got
Finn Balor, Hell in a
something to
Cell.
say. Yeah, Edge versus Finn Balor. It's the creator of the Judgment Day versus the
The leader.
Judgment Day. The leader right now of Judgment Day, Finn Balor. And they're going to be cranking out the original Hell in a Cell. The red Hell in a Cell is gone. PW Insider reports that they're cranking out the old school Hell in a Cell, so that'd be cool. And for this one here, and there's also talk that they're bringing in Gangrel to be part of this situation here. So I am going to go with Finn Balor to win this match because I think Finn Balor needs to win. He needs it more than Edge at this point because Edge could take another sabbatical after this match. So Finn Balor's going to be there. I think Finn Balor needs Edge. I think it needs to win. I think it's time to put Finn Balor, move him up the card a little bit here. Let's get some new blood into these title situations. And I'm not talking about the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship. I'm talking about we need to start pushing it. We're going to have the Judgment Day there as a faction. You need to start start thinking about the Judgment Day versus the Bloodline at some point. But you go right ahead.
I like that. I like that. I like that. By the way, we're getting the Demon Finn Balor in this match as well.
I'm not really digging it because the Demon Finn Balor is a character that was off merely created babyface Finn Balor. So I'm not digging it at all. I don't like it. I hope I mean, what's he gonna do? Come out there with a bunch of black and purple paint all over him or something like that? You know what I mean? It just don't
Probably.
it don't hit right. It's not. I mean, we'll see.
It's WrestleMania.
It's WrestleMania.
It's
we'll
WrestleMania.
See
We
what they
had the
pull out.
same reservations about Edge last year,
Yeah.
and what he pulled off in that fucking entrance was amazing.
Yeah,
the match was actually good last year. Too,
Yeah,
so.
we'll see.
We'll
Because
see.
because here's the thing when it comes to Finn Balor, WWE they don't like so when Balor was Prince Devitt in Japan, Balor had more freedom to use a lot more characters and to do more things. You know what I'm saying? He would come out there one time he came out as a Joker. And you can use these other intellectual characters from other genres of entertainment. He can't do that in WWE. He don't have the luxuries for that.
Right.
So we got to come up with something. And I just hope it's at the same demon that we see all the time. Is all I'm saying. I want to see
maybe an evil
fresh.
version of him.
Yeah, I want to see something fresh.
I think that would work.
Right.
Okay. Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
I think Brock is gonna do his best to make Omos look good out there, and I think people are gonna be into this match simply because the size of Omos is impressive, and I can't wait to see Brock Lesnar get this big dude up in Suplex City. So that's what people are going to be looking for. And honestly, unless something changes, I'm gonna pick Brock Lesnar to take the W here.
It's hard for me to say Brock wins this match, and I want to say he's setting up Omos to look strong. I want to say that because he's been doing a great job at it so far. I see him going into this match, making Omos look strong, but I also can see Omos going over in this match.
I can see it happening only if Brock is taking a leave of absence, and there's rumors that Brock is potentially finishing up. Right. I don't believe that. I think Brock is going to be pretty much probably out until SummerSlam is when we'll probably see Brock come back. But if that's the case, then yeah, let Omos
go over.
Let Omos go over. I mean, it doesn't hurt Brock. Brock is at this point in his career where Brock
he can lose,
take a loss, and it's not going to hurt him.
Right. I agree with that. Now, this match in particular, I'm very curious as to the aftermath of it. Because rumor has it Carmelo Hayes is going to debut Monday night. And if Omos loses this and we get something to the effect of they try to hurt him Monday night, I think we may see Hurt Business 2.0 coming together Monday night.
I saw an episode a couple hours ago, because I just resubscribed to Hulu, and Hulu has the episodes of Main Event, right? So I saw Carmelo Hayes actually cut a promo, because if you watch Carmelo Hayes in NXT, he always has dude talking for him.
Right.
Carmelo can't cut a promo. He can't talk.
Which is why it makes perfect sense to put him with MVP.
Yeah, and that was I listened to him, and that was my first takeaway. I was like, damn, bro, he can't talk. So yeah, you put him with MVP. Rumor has it that he could be getting called up to the main roster. We don't know that for sure. But that if that happens, hey, that's cool. But I mean, is it really Hurt Business 2.0? If you got the same people involved in it, what's the difference there? If you got Carmelo Hayes involved in it, Hurt Business 2.0 would be MVP, Omos, and the Street Profits. That's Hurt Business 2.0.
I would say them and the addition of Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. You could do the Hurt Business, but the Hurt Business is always going to be MVP Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, I agree
That's
with that.
That's going to be that.
I agree with that.
So if you want to do something, you do a fresh concept. I think what they need to do is if they bring Carmelo Hayes up to the main roster, they need to bring his dude that he already has with him in NXT up with him. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I agree with that too. All right, Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. Please, for the love of God, get rid of Damage Control.
I don't like Damage Control at all. I don't think that they have any chemistry whatsoever.
I don't either.
I think they actually hold Bayley back.
I do too.
So I'm all for just having Trish, Lita, and Becky beat them at Mania, and having Damage Control just break up and Bayley go on her own. Or if she's gonna have a stable, get two other females to have a stable with, because this right here, this is like, it's just a miscast of characters here. It's kind of like Jade Cargill's baddies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's exactly what that reminds me of.
And they're just holding them back.
It's just a group.
It's just a group. And I must say too, I have a gripe to pick with 2K, with WWE 2K23, because they did not get Bayley's ass right in that game.
They really did.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not aesthetically pleasing.
It's not, dude. Like I'm looking at Bayley.
Well, the live dunk versus the video game dunk is it's way the ratio's off.
Yeah, flat as a pancake, and I'm like,
it's off.
Yeah, it's way off. So 2K, y'all need to put a patch through.
I don't know, but I don't know where it came from. But lately, it's just been out there. Like it's undeniable. It went from
it's been that way for years, bro.
My God,
y'all just now catching on. That's why Bayley is my favorite wrestler.
Where'd that come from?
Her and Sky Blue, and I'll show you a little while. I'll show you a little while why Sky Blue is my favorite now too.
Yep, I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw it
at the house. What was the house rules?
Yeah,
she's my favorite now.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think Damage Control would benefit from a breakup. And I was talking about this last night. Io Sky, they need to do something. The Japanese stars, like, they're so talented, but Io is in a situation where she won't prevail.
No,
because she's paired wrongly with Dakota Kai, and it doesn't make sense for her to be in this group.
Well, number one, why did they change her name to begin with?
I don't know.
That's
Io
the
Shirai
first,
was a great name.
yes. That's and I don't understand why did they change her name?
I
That's
don't
the
know.
first strike right there.
I
Whatever.
don't know. Yeah. Oh, who you got? Oh, never mind. We don't want Damage Control to win.
No,
I hope.
I said Becky, Trish, and Lita.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. All right. Bianca Belair versus Asuka.
I want to say Asuka because I think Bianca would do better chasing the championship, but I have a feeling they're going to keep it on Bianca because she's pretty much she's the MVP right now of the female division on Raw. So
Yeah.
I really want to see Asuka. I'm gonna go on a limb and say Asuka. I really want to see Asuka win it, but something tells me it's gonna go to this Belair's gonna retain. But I'm gonna pick Asuka.
I'm gonna say Bianca. I'm gonna say Bianca, and I'm gonna say Bianca in a great match. I hope this match is not on night one. I hope it's on night two. That way, it's not compared to the main event of night one. Although I wouldn't be mad if they went on before them. I really wouldn't be mad. But I hope it's on night two because she needs her own shine.
It'll be on night two. They're not gonna
Yeah.
put both women's matches on the same show.
Yeah, I hope so. All right. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus the Usos. Oh. Now we're in the business.
All right, so this is just I've seen this scenario out there. I think it'd be stupid if they were to go down this route, but hey, WWE. Some people believe that Sammy is going to turn on KO. That this was all a ruse to get KO to trust him for him to turn on him.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
I don't think that's going to happen.
That's not going to happen. I think that I think the Usos are going to drop the tag team titles.
Oh, we are on the same page with this shit.
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
I think that's going to cause further issues in the bloodline.
We are on the same fucking page.
Yeah, it's called storyline. It's called further in the story. I think that the Usos are going to drop the championships. The person that's going to take the fall is going to be Jay, and that's going to cause some issues. It's going to cause some issues. So I'm picking Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to be the new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions of the world.
Ding, 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 ding. I agree. For the exact same reason you said. I think they beat them. I think it makes sense for Jay to be the one to get pinned by Sammy. And I think they dropped the titles to KO and Sami Zayn. And I think this causes massive issues with Roman Reigns, who we'll get to. Save this as a bookmark. We'll come back to this one. But yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
So I have not liked the build for this match at all.
I haven't either. I haven't been a fan.
It's not a strong build at all.
Now, if you were to ask me this a week ago, I would have said this was the better of the builds of the women's title matches. But after last night and what they did with the vignettes for Becky and Asuka, I'm more excited about that match than this one.
I just think that Charlotte's a better heel than she is a babyface.
I agree with that. I think the roles should be reversed.
Yeah, and Rhea Ripley is just, I mean, I know she's a heel with the Judgment Day, but Rhea Ripley should be a babyface.
I agree. The roles should be reversed.
Supposed to be, yeah, just totally miscast.
Yep.
So, in saying that, I think that we're going to see Rhea take the championship from Charlotte. I think Charlotte owes her one. So I'm gonna go with Rhea.
I believe that's going to happen too. I believe
Yep.
that's going to happen too. It would be. I think it would be almost a buzzkill for Charlotte to go over in this match.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, definitely. So,
and I don't see how that benefits Rhea if she won the Royal Rumble, lasted the entire Royal Rumble from number 1 to go to WrestleMania and lose. I don't see how that benefits her.
Yeah, it doesn't. It makes her look real soft and weak. So I'm picking Rhea Ripley to become the new Raw Women's or SmackDown Women's champion. So
I agree. Now, aftermath of this match, where does it leave her in the Bloodline? Because Bloodline is generally featured on Raw. She would be the SmackDown Women's Champion. Do you move the entire Bloodline to SmackDown? Because her and Dom's story doesn't make sense if she's on SmackDown.
Well, they've been going back and forth. So, I mean, is there really a brand split anymore?
You're right. The line's kind of blurred.
Exactly. So I don't really think that even matters.
Yeah. Okay. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
I'm picking Seth Rollins.
I'm picking Logan Paul. I think Seth's at a point right now where it won't hurt him to lose.
No, it will hurt him.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think it would hurt him to lose to Logan Paul.
Listen, let me put it like let me tell you why it would hurt. Because number one, all the matches that dude lost against Cody Rhodes. That's number one. Number two, you got people questioning, and I already know the answer to this, but you got people actually questioning: is it the song or is it him that's over?
I question that.
Okay, it's him that's over, because when he was the Visionary, he was over then too. So I think that he needs to win here, because if you don't give him the win, okay, first of all, Logan Paul hasn't earned it.
I don't think he has, but if I were to put this kid in a WrestleMania card above a lot of people, because he is a celebrity, like him or not, he has skills. I hate that I even say that confidently.
What how is he exactly a celebrity?
He's a YouTube star. Kids would call that celebrity.
He's a YouTuber.
He is a YouTuber.
You ain't no celebrity, and you want a celebrity. You bring fucking Tom Cruise out there. That's a celebrity. You bring Arnold Schwarzenegger. You get Dwayne Johnson, somebody out there like that. Those are celebrities. All right, this dude's a fucking YouTuber. That's all he is.
Okay, that aside, people know who Logan Paul is. All right, he's not categorized as a wrestler.
Some people know who he is.
You know who he is. People don't categorize him as a wrestler.
Okay.
He's in that event. Like him or not, he has skills. Like him or not, he can wrestle.
I don't like him, and I don't give a fuck about his skills. Okay. So I'm Seth Rollins. I'm not one of these people that because dude, has skills, I'm supposed to forget about the shitty shit that they've done.
I agree.
I'm not. I can't be fake like that. It ain't gonna happen with me.
Okay, I agree. Regardless of what your opinion is, he's in this event. He's going up against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is hot. Feelings aside, I'm going to go Logan Paul in this match.
Cool.
Feelings aside.
Cool.
Okay. All right. We already did that one. All right. The main event. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns.
You got to put a little bit more pizzazz in that. All right.
Let's
the main event. All right. The main event.
Let's start over. The main event of WrestleMania.
No.
39.
You had your chance. You let me do it.
Botch it.
The superstar. Here we go. The main event for the WWE Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. You have the guy who's not been pinned in 3 years. The tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Bias.
Versus Cody Rhodes.
Bias.
I'm not biased. I'm telling the truth. The
You
guy
didn't even have the American Nightmare. Where's the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes? You cut me off so you can give your guy.
Hey, what was that guy? What was he being called? Shit. What was he being called a couple years ago? Wasn't it just Cody?
Yeah, but he's back in WWE, and they call him Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but
the American Nightmare.
You know how he got the Rhodes part back. You know how he got the Rhodes part back.
Yeah, we can talk about copyrights and all that shit.
Exactly. Oh no. Well, how did he get it back?
The Rhodes?
Yeah.
Well, he got it back from copyright that WWE didn't follow through on.
That's not how he got it back.
Yeah, he did. He had it in AEW. He just wasn't using it.
Brother, that's not the way it happened.
Enlighten us.
Do you remember when AEW had an event called Bash at the Beach?
Where he got the rights to it.
It was called a trade-off, pretty much.
Yes.
There you go. AEW says we're not going to use that anymore, and you can have Cody Rhodes and have his name, but then when Cody Rhodes has his name back, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, the timing of that is impeccable.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we talked about this off air. All right, lay it on us.
Well, what exactly am I laying on you, dude?
Who do you got?
Who do I got?
Like we don't fucking already know this. You just introduced the guy as the man who hasn't been pinned in 3 years, going up against Cody Rhodes. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. The man who hasn't been pinned in 3 years, our World Heavyweight Universal Champion, or however the fuck you said it, the Tribal Chief, Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry. God damn it. Roman Reigns going up against Cody Rhodes.
Look who's botching. You got Cody on a brain. It's got you flustered. you can't get it right, baby.
Fumbling and stumbling over my words.
What I said, sir, was
say it again.
This. You have the reigning and defending WWE Universal World Heavyweight Champion. The man hasn't been pinned in 3 years. The tribal chief himself, the leader of the bloodline, the head of the table. You will acknowledge him, Roman Reigns, after he retains the championship, after he beats that AEW guy, Cody Rhodes.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, so what exactly do they mean by finish the story? What story are we finishing?
I don't know. Are we finishing Dusty's story?
What story was that?
The story where he never won the championship.
Did Dusty Rhodes ever get a championship match when he was in the WWF?
Not that I can recall.
What was Dusty Rhodes ever featured in matches with Hulk Hogan?
Not that I can recall.
Randy Savage. When Savage was the champion?
No.
The Ultimate Warrior.
As champion, no.
Okay, then. So what story are we finishing here? If I remember correctly, and I might get, wrong, but I know I'm not, baby, because I'm a student of the game in public. Okay? If I remember correctly.
You got to cut these Dusty impressions out, man, if you're going to make this point.
I'm making it right here, baby, because I want it to be juicy, okay? It's going to be juicy like you run into the elbow. Here's the deal. We're going to get funky like a monkey real quick, all right?
I'm going to get funky with you.
I'm going to turn the mix on. Here's the bottom line. If I remember correctly, Dusty Rhodes was the creative behind Crockett Promotions, okay? And if people don't know what Crockett Promotions turned into, it turned into WCW when Ted Turner bought it. Okay, now they did an angle on World Championship Wrestling, if I remember correctly, one of those shows where the Road Warrior spiked Dusty, and Dusty was bleeding all over the place. That act of gratuitous violence caused Turner Broadcasting to terminate the creative services of one Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes left Crockett. He went down to Florida, did his own thing for a little while, and then he went to the WWF. And when he went to the WWF, he was billed as the common man, the son of a plumber. Okay, you remember all the vignettes, everything they were doing. Dusty came in. Dusty was over, but was he over to the extent of Hulk Hogan? No. Okay,
No.
he came into a point where Hogan and Hulkamania, basically Macho Madness and Hulkamania were running the show around there, right? Dusty came in as mid-card talent, upper mid-card pretty much, all right? Dusty was in Polka Dots at one point. Dusty was out there with Sapphire at one point. Dusty was out there doing matches with the Macho King. He was doing matches with the $1 Million Man. $1 Million Man bought the services of Sweet Sapphire. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff happened. Then Dusty tag teamed with his son Dustin. They fought the $1 Million Man and Virgil at the 1991 Royal Rumble, and then Dusty was out because Dusty went back to WCW. So, what story are we finishing? There is no story to finish because it never happened. The only Rhodes I remember getting a championship match in the WWF was Goldust, who got a championship match against Shawn Michaels on Championship Friday in 1996.
Okay, so we keep going over history.
What story are we finishing? You're damn right we go over history because I'm a student of the game.
I commend you. But maybe the story is that a Rhodes never held the championship. Maybe that's the story.
Maybe
it's time for a Rhodes to hold the championship.
Maybe the story is that McMahon didn't think you were good enough, and that's why you never got the damn belt.
Well,
maybe that's what it was.
There's a Rhodes main eventing WrestleMania.
Yeah, because the People's Champ isn't there.
Regardless of what excuse you put on this, the narrative, the fact of the matter is that Cody Rhodes is main eventing WrestleMania. I don't care what you come up with in your head to make you say, what story are we finishing? A Rhodes has never held the title. The possibility is there. That's the story. I don't care how you spin it. The story is Cody Rhodes is in the main event of WrestleMania, challenging for the WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight title. That's the story. He's got to finish it. He has to win this match. Right or wrong.
And I can't wait for everybody out there that actually believes that the WWE that has put this huge investment from the big dog to the tribal chief hasn't been penned in 3 fucking years. Almost 1,000 days as the champion. You actually believe that they're going to say, okay, we're going to take our investment and squander it and say, screw it, because we have Cody Rhodes now. So we're going to put the belt on Cody Rhodes to finish the story. Not going to happen. I'm picking the tribal chief to retain the championship. And that's going to further the story when he gets the Usos' ass for losing the tag belts.
Excellent point you just put up there. Now, saying everything that you said, saying everything that I said, we actually agree on this outcome. I think there's no way you mentioned Roman Reigns in the same breath, in the same sentence, in the same aura as a Bruno Sammartino, and you take the titles off of him. There's no way that happens.
They have mentioned his name with Bruno. They have mentioned
Hogan,
his name with Hogan. You do not take those names.
there's no way.
No way, no chance.
There's
Hell,
no way.
right?
There's no way you're saying I'm taking the titles off of this guy. Mind you, Bruno Sammartino has held that title longer than anyone. Roman Reigns is mentioned in the same breath as that guy. There's no way I see him losing. If I hear that, there's no way. There's no way.
If Roman Reigns loses these championships,
it's a travesty. It's a travesty.
It's a travesty of justice to him, to his family, to everything that they've built.
Oh, it's a travesty.
It would be horrible.
It would be horrible.
In saying that, here's the thing, and I want to make this very clear to the audience out there that listens to this podcast, that made us number 81 of a top 100 podcast. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for sticking with us. I don't have anything personal against Cody Rhodes. I look at this situation as business. I look at the situation as if you're telling a story as a writer and you're booking the scenarios, right? And they want to talk about history. You got to go back through history, because if you don't acknowledge history, you're doomed to repeat it, right?
Right.
So my thing is always been, if we had a situation where these titles were not combined and it was Cody wrestling somebody else, I would say hell yeah, I say Cody would win it all day long.
Yeah.
But the problem is that these two belts are unified at the moment, and they already talked about Triple H has already approved a new design, and I said yeah, a new design for Roman.
That kind of scared me, because I was like, they probably are going to try to take these belts off of Roman.
Yeah,
but otherwise, I don't see. I don't see it.
It's just this. It's not going to happen. This is not going to happen. Roman is not dropping it. If he does, I'll say okay, I was wrong, and whatever. But just from a booking standpoint of where we're going with this story, it doesn't make any sense, because here's the thing. Roman has looked the most vulnerable in the last few weeks. Cody's been playing the mental game with him. Talking about how everybody's going to leave him if he loses, yada, yada, yada. No one talks about what happens to the Usos if they lose.
Exactly. And that's why I said we're going to save that match for this one. Right. Because I think Roman retains, the Usos lose, and a world of shit is coming to them for losing these titles.
Because we got Backlash coming up in Puerto Rico. My people, Puerto Rico, you know what I'm saying? We got that coming up. All of my Baricuas out there, you feel me? Then we got SummerSlam coming up.
Yep.
So we're building to SummerSlam in Detroit. I saw the SummerSlam logo the other day, the new one.
Fire.
It was badass.
Yeah, it's fire.
Badass. Yeah. So we got that coming up, and that could very well be Jay versus Roman.
It very well could be.
Okay.
Very well could be.
But we'll see what happens. But I want to bring something up here real quick, because it needs to be talked about. So there's one match on here that we haven't mentioned because it's not happening now. And it's a travesty of justice for someone who's once again busted their ass. And it was originally supposed to be Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Not going to happen now. Bray Wyatt, I guess, is taking a sabbatical from the company, whatever situation's going on. And personally, I'm going to just be completely honest with you. I think that at this point, Bray Wyatt is dead weight. I think Bray Wyatt was exposed at the Royal Rumble. I was there. You were there.
I was there.
He was exposed. And this shit's gone on too long. And there were rumors that WWE wanted him to come back as a Fiend. As soon as they suggested that, then he wanted to take some time off. and missed WrestleMania. He missed the MSG house show. Bobby Lashley's doing nothing now, which
Yeah.
is like that's just how do you
It's a
and it,
slap in the
yeah,
face.
slap in the face. Like, oh, well, we got something on the side for him, possible something possible with Stone Cold Steve Austin or something possible with LA Knight. So I go from doing a match with Bray Wyatt to okay, you're gonna probably end up doing a segment with maybe Stone Cold or doing a segment with LA Knight. I'm sorry, that's a horrible consolation prize.
Yeah, it is. Really is. And to say like it could have been a big angle, and it's not anything. Um, because the perception was it was going to be Brock and Bobby after Rumble. That was the perception. And I thought that would have made huge noise at Mania. And then they go their separate ways. And then you got Brock and Omos. And come to find out, Brock requested that match. He didn't want to work with Bray. So they paired Bray with Bobby. And now Bray's gone. And just let Bobby didn't do shit in this instance. He didn't do shit wrong. But he's getting the shit end of the stick. And I don't like that for him.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, yeah, Bobby versus Brock would have been another good match. But like I say, the story has a Bray Wyatt wanted to work with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar said, "Hell no."
Right.
Says, "I want to work with Omos." Hey,
There you have it.
yep.
There you have it. All right, so that's the WrestleMania predictions. Let's go to the WrestleMania 5 look back.
Well, before we go to WrestleMania 5 look back, let's talk a little bit about CM Punk.
Oh, you want to do that one? Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So CM Punk, AEW. This guy. Have you listened to Renee Young's podcast?
I read the transcript of what John Moxley had to say in response to what CM Punk said.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of leaning with John Moxley on this one. CM Punk came out and said that Moxley refused to work with him during the All Out. First and foremost, he came back before he was cleared during All Out. He was supposed to job out to John Moxley. It was supposed to be a squash match. And so I'm going over this timeline in my head, right? So it sounds like what he's referring to in that is that Dynamite where they came back, where he came back. And shit was all fucked up that match. Because even I was like, this shit felt rushed. So apparently this was supposed to happen at All Out. If I'm reading what he's saying, that was supposed to happen at All Out. So then why the fuck did it happen at Dynamite? This is the only part of the timeline I'm like, okay, if they wanted you to come back for All Out and you were like against this, why the fuck did you come back earlier for Dynamite? And if you were supposed to lose the titles in a squash match, if you're supposed to lose the title in the squash match, you lost it in the squash match on Dynamite. So why the fuck is the All Out match happening? That was my question.
Listen, that's Tony Khan's booking. They're only going with
it didn't make sense, but the way Punk tells it is like that was supposed to happen at All Out. So if it was supposed to happen at All Out and you came back before you were cleared, but they pulled it off on Dynamite, why the fuck are we having this All Out match?
Because I guess it was advertised for the pay-per-view.
That just didn't make sense to me.
Here's the real question, right? Does CM Punk have a real reason to lie?
He doesn't, But what he's saying, the math ain't mathing to me. It really ain't mathing to me, right? So if you're mad about A and A actually happened before B, what the fuck are you complaining for? Because you lost the titles legitimately, cleanly in a squash match on a Dynamite. Why don't you say no to the pay-per-view? If your health was so important, say no to the fucking pay-per-view because you have already done your business on a Dynamite.
Because I think what it comes down to is that they already had sold that match for the pay-per-view. Now I think they wanted to take the belt off of Punk just in case Punk wasn't going to be cleared to wrestle, so we don't hold the belts up. I think that they would have probably pulled off some kind of interim championship match like they normally would do. I think that's what it comes down to. And Punk only said all this shit in response to something that Dave Meltzer said to begin with.
Right. Which to be fair, he called Dave Meltzer a liar.
Well, yeah.
And I think he was more pissed off at that than the actual situation.
Exactly.
To be fair to him.
Yeah, because Punk hasn't said anything in a minute about anything. So that's what it comes out to now. John Moxley says, he's never been in a locker room where there's been so much turmoil and bullshit. And I'm going to tell you right now, you know why? Because they don't have a Vince McMahon in that locker room at AEW.
They don't.
That's the problem. They don't have.
And the fact that this is still in play, and we are almost a year removed from this situation.
These guys here need to understand something. Okay, and this goes back to why my feeling is so strong about Cody. Well, my feelings are strong about the CM Punk situation as well. CM Punk is the biggest star you have in that company. All right, to have this guy sitting on the sidelines is stupid to me. You need to sit down and go over these numbers with these guys. And you know what the numbers are telling? The numbers are telling me that, okay, the fans will watch Kenny Omega, but they really don't like the Young Bucks.
I agree with that.
Is what it shows me. So instead of sitting on the sidelines and keeping this guy off of TV and putting up tables and all types of shit over his picture on some damn side of a truck, okay, this is the biggest star you have. You need to be promoting the fact that this guy is going to be on his way back to your company instead of having him sit on the sidelines. It makes no sense. They need to go in there and have a conversation with the locker room and say, listen, let's put all this shit behind us and let's go and do some business. Look at all the stuff that's going over at WWE. The momentum switched overnight because it was a rocky road when Triple H originally took over. It was he had a lot of cleanup to do, and it's still a rocky road over there at WWE. Everything is,
but it's smoother than it was.
It's smoother than it was. Exactly. Yeah. Over at AEW, you got potholes everywhere, so you need to clean this up. So my thing would be for Tony Khan is to take advantage of the situation here, sit down with your talent, talk to your talent, and basically mediation here. Let's do some business.
You know what Tony's problem is? He's used to dealing with not necessarily wrestling talents, but he's used to dealing with high profile players. So his normal course of action is to just let everything play out, right? NFL stars, let it play out. They'll change their mind. It doesn't work like that in pro wrestling. When people are genuinely pissed off and have heat in pro wrestling, they have heat. You have to calm that shit down. Or otherwise, you're going to lose control. And I think he's learning that lesson a little bit too late.
I think what it comes down to, honestly, as well, is that he wants to be everybody's buddy.
Right.
And that's the same problem I think that Eric Bischoff had in WCW, where he wanted to be a part of the cool camp. And I like it. Eric Bischoff's my guy. But, let's call it the way it is. He wanted to be everybody's buddy over at WCW. And sometimes, they would walk all over that because they could. And I just think if you look at the situation here, I mean, who's going to draw you money? I'm not going to sit there and say the Young Bucks aren't going to draw you money. They will. But everybody knows the match that people want to see is CM Punk with FTR versus the Elite. So why not hook that up for Blood and Guts?
Right.
And why not, instead of having Blood and Guts free on Dynamite, why don't we make this a pay-per-view?
Right.
Have this match on a show, and we're gonna have people actually pay for this. These dudes are out there killing themselves on free TV. No, absolutely not. That if I was booking AEW, that would not happen. We're gonna save Blood and Guts. It's one of our biggest premier matches. We're gonna save this for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna make some money on this. So that's what people want to see. They want to see this here. Let's go ahead and give it to them. And I think that eventually CM Punk and Tony Khan, these guys are going to come to a meeting here, and I think they're going to smooth everything over, and CM Punk will be back. He'd be a fool not to.
Yeah, they'd be foolish not to make that move. I agree with that. And the way it is right now, they need something. And I think CM Punk coming back could be that something that they need, because they need it desperately.
They need star power. They don't have that right now.
Right.
That's one of the big problems that with the AEW show is they don't have any star power.
Correct. I agree.
And they need that.
All right. Moving on, one of the last segments before we get into the City Boys interview, Wrestlemania V, all-time great pay-per-view. Was looking at this card earlier. There's a lot of Hall of Famers on this card.
Of course.
A lot of Hall of Famers on this card. Some matches I forgot about.
Right.
Some people I forgot about, like tag teams that I forgot about, like the Tito Santana was on this card. Like, whoa,
yeah,
Strike
Tito,
Force,
yeah, Tito,
like, holy shit, I forgot about Strike Force.
Yeah, Strike Force versus the Brainbusters.
Yeah,
and this is where Rick Martel turns heel and walks
yeah,
on. Yeah.
I was like, damn, man, I forgot. There was a lot of shit on Demolition was on this card.
WrestleMania debut of Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig versus the Blue Blazer.
The Blue Blazer. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I was looking at this card like, damn, man, there's a lot of shit I forgot about.
Twin Towers versus the Rockers.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Rude versus Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior, yep.
That was a good match.
That was a good match. A lot of underrated matches on this card, man. Like, and the match that stuck out to me, obviously, was Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man.
Right.
Which the aftermath of that was pretty crazy too.
Then you had also the return of Big John Studd to the company.
As a babyface.
Right.
As a babyface.
Against Bobby Heenan, who now is managing Andre.
Right.
Versus Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yep.
Crazy time.
The Hart Foundation versus Honky Tonk Man and
Greg
Valentine.
Yep. Rhythm and Blues. Yep.
Yeah. This was a very, very underrated WrestleMania.
Well, it was honestly, it was a one match show.
Mm-hmm.
It was a match that was built. It took a year to build it, and it was the same venues. I mean, they went there WrestleMania 4. It was a tournament. Macho Man.
The first time that it ever happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And remember, the history. That's what I'm all about. The history of the business. If you remember that WrestleMania 4, the Crockett's countered it with the Clash of Champions, Sting versus Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So people, that's the war. So But yeah, man, it was WrestleMania 5 is one of my all time favorites. It's just that story that they told there, the intensity of the Macho Man, and the fact that what they don't show you is the aftermath of what happened there. Because as soon as the match is over and Macho Man lost, Macho Man goes to the back and he is got a new manager, and it's Sherry
Sherry
Martel.
Martel, yeah.
Sensational Sherry.
This year in particular, this was in 89.
Yeah.
This year in particular was like one of the first years of the Big Four, right?
Believe so, yeah, because, well, no, let's see. Survivor Series was in 80. The first Survivor Series was what, 87?
80, I thought 88.
No, his first Survivor Series was 87. Yeah, first Survivor
Yeah,
Series was
you're
87.
right. You're right.
Because
You're
it
right.
was the first time that Andre and Hulk had done anything since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So SummerSlam, the first SummerSlam was in 88. So you're correct. So this would be the first Big Four. Yeah.
Yeah. Historic
Yep.
year that was. Yeah. Hell yeah. Who retained in that? Oh, who won that? Hogan, right? With the
Hogan beat Savage.
Hogan beat Savage in that.
Yeah, Savage dropped it. And that's the thing. What's crazy is that you also had on this card too. I don't know if I mentioned it or not earlier, but you also had Demolition defending the tag
Powers of Pain
versus Powers of Pain and Mr. Fuji. So it was a handicap match.
Yeah.
And people can say all day long that they thought the Legion of Doom, or excuse me, Demolition was a ripoff of the Road Warriors.
They were.
Motherfuckers, take a look at the goddamn Powers of Pain. You tell me which is closer to a Road Warrior ripoff.
Demolition. Yeah,
really?
Come on, man. You knew
bro?
that shit. You knew that shit.
So you mean to tell me from looking at Axis Smash, and then you look at the Barbarian and the Warlord, and you take a picture of the Barbarian and the Warlord and put them side by side with the Road Warriors. You tell me Demolition.
You know, Demolition was a ripoff of the Road Warrior. You know this shit.
I thought Demolition was cooler than the Road Warriors, to be honest, and they were better workers.
Bullshit. I mean,
bullshit.
No, you're right. You're right about the worker part. You're right about the worker part.
I'm sorry.
Cooler, I don't know.
I'm sorry. How many WrestleManias were the Road Warriors on?
Come on, man. That's not even fair. That's not even fair.
No, it's very fair because everybody wants
to talk.
Everybody wants to talk this bullshit.
Demolition were WWE products.
How many WrestleManias were the Road Warriors?
Come on, man. You can't do that shit. You
can't
even do that shit.
I can. How many WrestleManias
That's not fair.
were the Road Warriors?
That's not fair.
No,
because
it's not
the Road Warriors didn't come up
fair.
in WWE.
It don't matter.
And WWE at that time, WWE was not the end all be all back then like it is now. History is very kind to WWE, but in the territory days, we all know history-wise, WWE or WWF at that time was not the end all be all. It took years for them to be the main event, but
I'm not saying that. What I specifically asked was how many WrestleManias after the Road Warriors signed with the WWF in 1990.
You know that's some bullshit.
How many WrestleManias were they in?
You know that's some bullshit.
How many were they in? How many were they in?
0.
Exactly. How many were Demolition in?
Bro, that's fucked up.
They won the tag team. They won the tag team titles at WrestleMania 4, right?
You know that's fucked up.
They won the tag belts at WrestleMania 4, right?
you know that's fucked up.
If I remember correctly,
you know that's the Vince creation.
If I remember correctly.
And how is this any different? How is this any different to what AEW is doing right now? Because Vince created them, Vince pushed them.
You're missing my point, dude. You're missing.
I'm not missing your point.
You missed my point. No, you missed my point. I'm
not.
put it like this. Hold on. I'm gonna put it like this. Demolition, yes, was a WWF creation. They
were a homegrown talent.
They were WWE creation, correct. But what I'm saying is this: once Bill Eadie got sick from his shellfish situation he had going on there. His shellfish, allergy.
Mm-hmm.
Once he got sick, they added Crush to the team.
Mm-hmm.
The last high-profile match that Demolition pretty much had for the tag team titles was against the Hart Foundation at SummerSlam 1990. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Last time you saw all 3 Demolition together was tag teaming with Mr. Perfect at Survivor Series 1990. By 1991, Demolition were on the way out. It was done. Barry Darsow would become the Repo Man, and Crush would be basically come back as Kona Crush. The Road Warriors were fucking there. So my question is this, once again, if you look at WrestleMania, hold on, when they signed the Road Warriors, they was like, oh, Vince can say fuck Demolition because he got the real guys now, right? How many WrestleManias were they on where they were wrestling for the tag team titles? It never fucking happened. They were at WrestleMania 7. They were at Wrestle. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he push them? These are the guys, right? You basically sacrifice your own creation, Demolition. You push them down the car because now you got the real Road Warriors. So why?
There's
so
no
why not
need
push
to
them?
push them. There's no need to push them. You
You're
know
not-
why he didn't push them?
Why?
Because
why
he had the Hart Foundation.
So,
And then
so you mean tell me? So hold on. From your logic, what you're saying
he's
is that
pushing
if
his guys.
you're pushing your guys. No, you're
He's
not
pushing his
pushing your
guys.
guys. No, he's not. He's not pushing his guys because Demolition were his fucking guys, and they were jobbing at WrestleMania 7. So how is he pushing his guys? You signed the Road Warriors.
Not Demolition, but he's not pushing the Road Warriors. He's pushing more of his guys.
Why are you not pushing the Road Warriors?
Because they're not his guys.
That doesn't make any fucking sense, dude.
They're not his guys.
That doesn't make any sense.
They're making
money.
money.
You know what's funny? Hogan wasn't one of his guys either.
Yeah, but you don't fucking throw away Hulkamania like that. Hell
Well,
no.
why not?
That's just dumb.
Road Warriors were just as over as Hogan was in the 80s. So what's the difference?
There again. How many tag teams was he really interested in pushing?
Well, Vince was never a tag team guy.
Exactly.
But the tag teams that he did push, he pushed the Brainbusters. He pushed the British Bulldogs. He pushed the Rougeau brothers. You pushed the Powers of Pain. You pushed the Demolition. You had the Colossal Connection. You had a bunch of different tag teams. My point is that Demolition,
guys that he made. He didn't put, besides the Brainbusters.
All these guys did not get made by Vince. They came from different places, bruh. Different territories.
Demolition.
They were already established.
Besides the Brainbusters.
Powers of Pain wasn't a Vince creation. They came from Crockett.
I'll give you that one too. All right.
So my point, once again, my point is this: if you have the road, if Demolition are supposedly the knockoff version of the Road Warriors, if Demolition is the fucking Wish version of the Road Warriors, then why, when you have the real Road Warriors coming here, why not push them into a tag match at WrestleMania 7?
Spite.
Makes no, you know damn well it makes no fucking sense, bro. You got nothing.
Spite.
You got nothing. Because you know it makes no fucking sense. So I'm sick of hearing that argument about, Demolition was a Road Warriors.
They were fucking rip-offs.
They were more successful. Because look at
they were rip-offs. And they were more successful in WWE. How many championships did Demolition win outside of WWE?
There was no Demolition outside of WWE.
Exactly.
The WWF trademark.
Exactly.
What are you fucking talking about?
Exactly.
They can't be Demolition outside of WWE. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
That's irrelevant.
No, it's very relevant.
It's irrelevant.
It's very relevant.
Irrelevant.
You know this is relevant.
Really?
It's very relevant.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
well, let me ask you a question there, tough guy. Let me ask you a question. How many tag team titles did the Road Warriors have outside of WWE?
A few.
Oh, really? Name them. Name them.
AWA, NWA.
I'm talking about after they left the WWF.
Oh, by then they were done by then.
They were done? I could have sworn they had a run in WCW.
Yeah, but they weren't the same. They weren't, they weren't. This is like mid-90s. They were fucking chewed up by then.
Oh, well, so what's the problem?
Why are you trying to spin shit, man? Why you keep trying to spin shit? You know what I'm saying.
Because I am sick and tired of that bullshit narrative that they were Road Warrior ripoffs. I'm sorry.
They fucking were. To the point, they were Road Warrior ripoffs. To the point, go back and listen to their entrance music. The fucking person singing the song can't even pronounce their names right. Here comes the Axel. Here comes the Smasher. Couldn't even say that. Fuck. Yes, he did. Go back and listen.
He says, "Here comes the Axe. Here comes the Smasher. The Demolition. Walking Disasters."
Okay, yeah. Here comes the Axe. Here comes the Smasher. Not Axel. My bad. Smasher. Really?
I love this. You know why? Because I make you look like a fucking clown. I love this.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Fucking jabron.
No, you don't. Smasher? Really?
It's the 80s, bro.
Here. And here you go.
Hey, at least it was an original song. It wasn't some fucking ripoff.
Anyway. Fucking ripoffs.
It was a ripoff. Iron Man, dude. Come on now.
So, it was independence.
Oh,
shit. Nobody complains about it now.
No, it was cool. It's just I have no problem with the Road Warriors either, bro. I get so sick and tired of hearing this shit. Where you got
You're a Demolition fan.
Where you got the Powers of Pain.
You're a Demolition fan. It's
Look
okay.
Look at the Powers of Pain. They look exactly like Hawk and Animal. That's my point. The Powers of Pain is more of a ripoff of the Road Warriors and Demolition.
Not really. But I see what you're getting.
Have you seen the Powers of Pain? They're wearing the same tights.
Because it wasn't meant for them to be a ripoff of them. You know what this is? You know what this is? And I'm gonna make this make sense to you. This is just like the Thanos Darkseid connection. Where everybody says Thanos is a fucking ripoff of Darkseid. He is. We acknowledge this. He's just, in our minds, a little bit cooler. Just like in your mind, Demolition is a fucking ripoff of the Road Warriors.
Hey, well, you know what?
In your mind, just a little bit cooler.
Hey, you know what? The Demolition, they were on the bigger stage, the World Wrestling Federation.
Why do you go back to that? Okay, I'll let you have that one. I'll let you have it.
We'll have a whole fucking damn debate one day with this shit. Because the bottom line is, I'm so sick and tired of hearing that shit about the damn Road Warriors. They were fuck that. Give me one match the Road Warriors ran that would compare to anything Demolition did in the WWF. Give me one match.
What?
Yeah, give me one match.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? I'm dead ass. Give me one match the Road Warriors did that compares to anything the Demolition did with the Hart Foundation in the WWF. Mind you, they wrestled the Hart Foundation at SummerSlam '88 and at SummerSlam '90. Give me something the Road Warriors that equals that
on that big of a stage.
On that work rate wise, go out there and just have a fucking kick ass match. Give me something. You can't give me nothing.
What?
You can't give me nothing.
What? Really?
Yeah. Give me a match with the Road Warriors that equals anything Demolition did with the Hart Foundation in the WWF.
Road Warriors versus Midnight Express, the scaffold match.
The scaffold match. That fucking match was horrible.
Wow.
Horrible.
You are wow.
That match was fucking horrible. The only thing that anybody
You
remembers from that
are
match was that bump Jim Cornette took when Big Bubba didn't catch him.
you are too much.
Really? So you mean to
Yeah,
tell me? So you mean to tell me dudes walking on a scaffold that are scared to death, obviously of heights?
you are
That's
too
more
much.
that's
You
equal.
are too
That
much.
is
Now
that
you're
is
just trying to
equal.
bury him. Now you're
That
just
is
trying to bury him.
but wait a minute. Hold on a second. You're telling me that a scaffold match with the Road Warriors and the Midnight Express, where
Yeah, that match was
and
money, dude.
I love the Midnight Express. But you mean to tell me from two tag teams that are scared to death of heights that didn't want to even really do the fucking match, and they're up there, doing this shit, and like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You mean to tell me that equals to 2 out of 3 falls, Demolition versus the Hearts? You got to be ribbing right now, right? Because that's fucking stupid. The only thing that people remember,
Wow.
the only thing that people remember about that match is that bump that Jim Cornette took when he blew his fucking knees up. That's what people remember that match. They don't remember the match. They remember that moment when Big Bubba didn't catch Jim Cornette. That's all they remember.
All right, man. Moving on.
Yeah, I know. You need some butt hurt cream because it hurts, huh?
No.
Yeah.
You know what? I just realized you got it. There's nothing to argue with you. There's nothing to argue about. You got it.
No, it's a healthy debate.
There's nothing to debate about. Trust me.
I
There's
know.
nothing else to debate about.
Yeah, I know, because it's all on the WWE Network. I know.
There is nothing else we got to debate about. All right. So moving on.
It's good for the listeners.
It is good for the listeners. Moving on. We are at the segment where we go over the GOAT bracket. So let's go ahead and bring it up. The No Gimmicks podcast fan group did present to the masses, their picks for the top 4 superstars of all time. All right, let's go to the Gimmick Tube, and we're going to bring it up here. All right, so the top 4 are The Undertaker, Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock. Those are the big 4 right now. We're going to leave voting open until tomorrow, and then we will roll right into our championship round on Thursday. Thursday and Friday will be the voting on the championship rounds, and we will announce the winner, the No Gimmicks podcast fan group's choice for the greatest wrestler male of all time. Thoughts, sir?
Okay, so my thoughts are simply this. It's a very interesting bracket. It's a very interesting Final Four. I cannot believe that Hulkamania didn't make it to the end. I am shocked and appalled that the Hulkster didn't.
I told you last episode, I was like, I've seen the fanfare for the dead man in that group.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy because he's a household name. Okay, so we got Taker, Rock, Flair, Austin.
Yep.
All right. So if we're gonna put this into the perspective of just these 4 guys and their accomplishments, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, the Undertaker had a longer career than The Rock. So if you put that into perspective, you gotta put the Undertaker over The Rock. So that'll be my vote as the Undertaker. Ric Flair versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's a very, very interesting one because Austin's run wasn't that long on top because he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
Ric Flair, Flair was always over, except in the WWF during his first run. He wasn't really that over as a real world champion. In saying that, in this bracket, to me, I think it's going to come down to The Undertaker and probably Steve Austin.
I'm inclined to go that way.
Yeah.
I can also see a strong case for The Rock versus Ric Flair. And I'm basing this based off the last round.
Okay.
Right? So Stone Cold Steve Austin demolished John Cena.
Right. We made sure of that.
Ric Flair had a pretty handed victory over Macho Man as well. Macho Man is a very beloved character in that group too. So I could see. Out of the two, I'm gonna have to go Stone Cold, based off what I saw in the group, because what he did to John Cena was crazy. And then I'm looking at Stone Cold and The Rock, and that may actually happen.
I don't think so. I really think it's going to come down to Taker and Austin, because if you look at it like this, the Undertaker had been the same character for 30 years.
30 years.
30 years, the same character. He didn't go through any metamorphosis like The Rock went from Rocky Maivia to The Rock, and
True.
then left. You know what I mean?
True.
That's the thing about it. It's all about. It's another thing too. It's all about the tradition of service.
True.
And the Undertaker had always been there. Whether it be the dead man to the biker, American Badass, whatever, he was always the Undertaker. Flair is only up there because Flair stayed too long.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like if you've seen one Ric Flair match, you've seen them all. I'm just being honest. You know, that's the thing when we talk about great workers in the business. I mean, that's why you can never find, unless it's WCW, you can never really find a bad Bret Hart match. Because Bret always changed up the style. Rick was just one of those guys. And I'm not knocking Ric Flair. You know, I could knock him for a lot of shit, but I'm choosing not to do that. Rick would go out there and hit his signature spots. He gave the people what they wanted to see.
Yep.
Right.
Play the hits.
And there's nothing wrong with that. The Rock would do the same thing.
True.
People's elbows, rock bottom, Samoan drop.
Go home.
Yeah. But Taker would do that too. Taker would
walk the rope.
Walk the old school. Choke slam, tombstone. You know. Yeah. So it's very interesting. And when we come back here on the next week's episode of No Gimmicks, which will be our WrestleMania
recap.
Recap of WrestleMania. We're gonna push that out. We'll pretty much have this bracket complete, and then we'll be presenting the next bracket, which you already showed, which was going to be the greatest women's wrestler of all time. So that'll be very, very interesting. And and we're going to do factions and tag teams as well in the future.
Oh no, we are. Yeah. So the tag teams is after the women.
Okay.
And then factions is after that. So.
All right. Hopefully you have those demolition knockoffs on there, the Road Warriors.
Oh shit. No, I don't. All right, Frank Dee, we've been talking about this all show, man. Let's get into this interview with the City Boys. Welcome back, everybody, to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. Joining me at this time right now, you guys are in for a treat. Beano Blue, Whiskey Sour, the Dog Pound Championship Tag Team Champions are here on No Gimmicks. Guys, what's up? How you doing?
How you doing? We're doing great.
That's awesome, man. It's awesome. Thank you. First and foremost, thank you guys for sharing your time. Beano, we had Misty on the show, and and she spoke really highly of you. So I was like, I have to research these guys and see what they're on. And first and foremost, let me tell you, you guys are very surprising. You are a very surprising tag team because you guys are all happy and jovial right now, and you get in the ring and it's like a switch flips. Where does that come from?
Well, the thing is, since we do represent the LGBTQ community, we want to make wrestling like, yeah, of course, there's LGBTQ characters and wrestlers, but we want to show that LGBTQ wrestlers are also serious. It's not just funny, haha. Like when you pull my hair, it gets real serious.
I can understand that. Bino, what about you?
Like heavy on that. Like they call me crazy eyes in the ring because like, literally, as soon as like I get tagged, it's like a switch goes on, and it's like it's go time, and it's like I don't know, it's serious when I get in the ring. It's like that's kind of why when we and Misty, like when every time we get in with her, it's like she brings out that side of me. That's why me and her are so. Along with my tag team partner, along with me and her, like we very like good together. He brings out that good side of me. So,
right. Yeah. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you can tell, man, because watching the matches that I watched of you guys, man, it's like, okay, I didn't know what to make of the City Boys. Like I watched you guys' promos. Your promos, first and foremost, A+. I love your promos. they're A+. They are A+. Your normal promos is like, okay, these guys are gonna get in there and they're gonna represent. Okay, and then I see you in there and I'm like, holy crap, they are really kicking ass. Like I love it. So, question for both of you: how did you discover pro wrestling, and how did you find out about it? Bino, I'll start with you.
So I've been pretty much a wrestling fan ever since like I was born. I was pretty much like 3 or 4 playing like No Mercy on Nintendo 64. I was watching SmackDown anytime like Lita or Jeff Hardy lost. I was upstairs getting my back on No Mercy. Then it went from No Mercy to SmackDown, Bring the Pain. Then to then it went from SmackDown versus Raw. Like all my life, it's been wrestling.
So you are a video game. You are like follow the video games too. Like you name drop some good ones.
Yes, like it's been from like I watched it too. Don't get me wrong. I watched it religiously. Like most people, it stopped. I remember Undertaker, Stone Cold. Like back in the day, it stopped for them. It never stopped. And like for me personally, like I was a woman. I'm a women's wrestling fan mainly. Period. And like the girls did it for me. That's why Jazz in the Dollar Pound Championship Wrestling is so special to me, because Jazz was one of those girls. I was terrified of her.
Oh yes.
What?
I'm still terrified of her. What are you talking about?
Music drop like what? So to know that now she's like one of my coaches, like one of my close people that I like near and dear to my heart, is like baffling to me. So yeah, that's how I got into wrestling.
That's awesome. We got to come back to that. Whiskey Sour, what about you?
I've always been like watching it. I've never been like a fan, even when it comes to like music or like movies, actors, whatever. I've never been like, oh, I like this person enough, let me go buy a ticket. Like I've never been like a fangirl like that. So what happened was I actually worked at Gold's Gym here in Texas. And I was just doing my regular shift, and this guy comes in and I'm like, all right, he's already looking like an interesting character as is. And he's just like, yeah, I'm into wrestling, man. Do you look like one of those wrestlers? I'm like, oh, Adam Cole. And he's like, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Do you know who this guy is? Proceeds Rodney Mack walks into my gym. And I'm just like, no, who's this guy? And he's like, this is Rodney Mack, former WWE star. I'm like, oh, really? Wow. And then we just started talking. I ended up getting his number, and like that whole year, I just decided to work on my body, get in shape, just try to just better myself. And then a year later, Rodney and Jazz finally opened up Dog Pound Championship Wrestling. Well, not Championship Wrestling, but just the dojo.
Right.
At that time, Thunder Rosa was actually part of the school as well. So when I saw Thunder Rosa with Jazz and Rodney. I was like, okay, I need to check this out. And I remember I came in on a Monday, and I started training that Wednesday.
Wow, that's a gym. I didn't even know Thunder Rosa trained there.
She was there for a little bit, and then AEW, she became champion, so she had to like light in everything else. So, but she's still one of my first ever trainers, which is still kind of crazy to me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That is really awesome. Where did the idea of this tag team? Where did this idea come from? First and foremost, I love it. Whoever thought of it is a genius. But where did it come from?
So,
well, do you want to start from the very beginning? I have the funny part, and then you can do.
So originally it was supposed to be the Whiskey Blues, but I couldn't.
I actually like that too.
But
Nah.
what?
Well, what are we gonna do with that?
Yeah, true.
You know, so I was showering. I got back from the gym, showering, and literally as I was showering, it just hit me. City Boys.
Hold on.
Oh, literally.
What were you listening to while you were showering?
Something. I don't know. It had to be something ghetto.
Probably
So,
City Girls.
I don't think it was even City Girls. I was just like, I was listening to something and it just hit me in my mind. City Boys.
Huh.
So I got out the shower, probably soaking wet or something, and I typed it in my phone. City Boys. That's our name. And then boom, went up from there.
Yeah,
Wow.
we were working out, and we were trying to find a new name, and Blue just comes up to me. He's like, "What do you think about City Boys?" I laughed in his face, and I was like, "All right, cool. I'll think about it." It was.
That's what's gonna be our name. Because like, what else is like? I couldn't think of anything else. Is like that was just gonna be our name. Like,
Yeah.
No, it sticks.
And
like
what,
it sticks.
I like it too because I don't think City Boys is actually a tag team. I actually think eventually it's going to become its own little faction of LGBTQ people that we trust in our little group.
Right. It's like a way of life. It's an energy. It's a feeling.
Huh. Okay, you have my attention.
You know?
But
you have my attention.
But actually going back a little further than that, when we were in training, I was actually part of the school before Blue came along, and he came along, and our coaches were like, they'd be good together, like they have different styles, and then we started talking, and we were just like, they really put the two gay guys in a team, and just were like, let's see how this goes, and it's still going.
Right. Yeah. I know you have a slogan, the hottest tag team in Texas. I don't think that's a slogan. I think that may actually be true.
Right.
Because
thank you, right?
Yeah, I think that may actually be true. Because man, if you look at the trajectory of what you guys are doing, man, I really want the world to see you guys, like for real. Because the City Boys, I want to call it a gimmick. It's not really a gimmick though. Like you guys bring it to life, and I like that. But the City Boys moniker as a whole for you guys, like I think it really works. Like whoever decided to put this tag, kudos to you guys, because it works. And then, what was your aha moment as a tag team? Like, was that it? Like, oh, the City Boys, or like, did you have like an aha? Like, oh, this is about to catch on. Like, when did you feel like, all right, this is about to catch on. This is about to be something.
Our first match, I feel like that was it for me, because like a lot of people was like checking for us.
No.
We started, so our performance in that tournament and like just the energy we had coming in, and like everybody was like cheering for us and stuff, and like that match we had with Fly Death.
Mm-hmm.
We had like tag team match with Fly Death. Shout out to them. I think if not, it was one of the best matches of that night, and we put on a good performance. And I feel like that was our aha moment.
Ah, okay.
Honestly, like we definitely made City Boys a name that night.
And there was definitely like, And I would say that's very true, but also it was such a process because not only, like, the only thing that we had in common was that, you know, we were LGBTQ. And
Right.
like we had to take so much time and energy working out in the gym, being in training, still learning how to be a wrestler, but being a wrestler with, you know, one of my best friends. And it's like, that was such a process. Like there was a period in time where it was like, what are we doing? Like, why? Not like a why, because we knew it was going to be successful, but more like, man, we put so much work into this that we have to make this work. We have to make a staple and anything. And right now we're one of the best tag teams in Texas, and that's going to be nationwide soon.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. So it's a gamble that you took on yourself that paid off.
Yes.
Right.
Nice. Nice. So in saying that, as the Dog Pound Championship Wrestling Tag Champs, you represent something larger in the community of pro wrestling, right? And that's acceptance, right? Do you feel like the wrestling community is being more accepting of the LGBTQ community, or like do you see like there's work that needs to still be done in areas, or do you feel like it's okay, we're arriving?
Yes, I feel as though it's extremely accepting because like I've never seen like as many accepting people in a group ever, and then more. And I have never seen as many accepting people in the wrestling community as I've seen in the wrestling community because it's like most recently we went to Las Vegas and like we had like a whole shout out to like Full Queer and Russell Drag.
Shout out to them.
Yo, like I didn't know it was so many of us. You know, you know, I was able to wrestle and just be free, and you know, it's not even that like just be who you are and just not have to look over your shoulders and stuff. It's okay, you know. In that's the LGBTQ promotion, but you could be that anywhere. You know, it's
Right.
like now it's accepted like that everywhere.
I do
Right.
want to give a shout out to all the locker rooms that we've been in too,
Yeah.
because I mean, like, girl, we share a locker room with Rodney Mack. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of people that can intimidate us at this point in time. So so we show up, we do our thing, and if y'all don't like us, then get out. I mean, it's that simple.
And speaking of Rodney Mack has been nothing but accepting.
Oh
And
my!
Dog Pound has been nothing but accepting.
That's good.
They told us to be more open, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
Rodney and Jazz are the reason why I'm
Yeah.
Let you can take this out of context.
Like-
Rodney Mack and Jazz are the reason why I'm so gay. But you know.
Honestly.
But like it's crazy, like going to training and having someone like Rodney Mack just being like, oh, just shake your ass a little bit, maybe do a little hand thing right here. And it's not because like he knows that it's us, and not just that it's us, but like he actually knows more about us than we do at the moment. And wrestling has really brought that out, not just like in our wrestling and our style and our personalities, but through them we were able to actually become who we are now. And there's still a lot of work to be done, but if you saw the progress from a year ago to now, I'm a whole new person. I've changed 3 times. This man looks like he's changed 3 times.
But that's what I was going to say. That was going to be a follow-up question. How has that affected your personal lives? The fact that you can be so free to express yourselves in pro wrestling, like how does that in turn affect your personal life? That you don't have to hide, because there was a point in time that wrestlers did have to hide. It affected them. It affected their personal lives, their mental health. Like how does that help you, knowing that you can be so free?
So before I was in wrestling, I was in the military, and I did 5 years in the Army.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like
we ain't gonna like skip.
I ain't gonna like it was. I came out in the military, so I had to deal with like half of the people I met being accepting, and the other half really not messing with it like that. So to come from an environment that's not really really wishy-washy.
Accepting, yeah.
To an environment that's like, do you, it's a culture shock, a very big culture shock, So it takes some getting used to. It's very, it takes a lot of getting used to. But
that's another thing too that I also want to point to is that like we're good guys. People see us and cheer us because of who we are. And that's also a big culture shock. Like, it's been overwhelming for me to actually be myself because it's been a lot of growth through like the last year. But having these audiences cheer us because they just don't like what we're doing in the ring. They like us as people. And that's a huge deal.
Right. No, it is. It really is a huge deal. Acceptance.
And it's just so crazy too. The amount of like kids that we've helped, the amount of like adults that have watched us. So if you notice real quick, I have our Pride rainbow shirt, and then Blue has our Miami Vice shirts. We currently need more of these shirts because there's been fans that basically are like, oh, I really like this tag team. And then the person's like, oh, what shirt do you want? And they're like, oh, no, I actually want to wear it. So they'll get the blue and pink one instead of the rainbow one because they're still on the down low too. But because of them seeing us, they're kind of like, hey, maybe I can come out, or maybe, hey, like it's not as a big deal as I thought it was, which was
that's good.
Which was also a crazy thing.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to see change happening and being the one to affect that change. I can imagine it's a little weird, but it's good.
I mean, no one told us that we were going to be like one of the landmarks for LGBTQ wrestling. We're just doing it, and now we're here, and now
doing the best we can.
Yeah, like no one forced us to be here. We're here and be the best representation that we can be.
Right.
You guys are kicking ass, so keep kicking ass. All right, so you guys have a big test this weekend coming up against the Los Gringos. How are the City Boys planning to get their lick back? Because we've seen, by the way, tune in to Paradox on YouTube from Dog Pound Championship Wrestling. On the last episode of Paradox, City Boys got attacked by Los Gringos, and this weekend they're planning to get their lick back. How is this revenge going to happen? Walk me through it.
Los Gringos at the last Ice House show decided, they was going to attack us, right? But this April 1st, City Boys, we mean war. Like we're on a whole different time. There's no like none of this. There's no none of that. Like as soon as that bell ring, like
it's on site.
Ref, just move out the way. Like just move.
Like we've been been Dog Pound Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions for over 100 days, and the
101 days.
It's just the respect that we deserve as champions.
At all.
So we're tired of being friendly. We're tired of being all happy and cheery. You said that there was a switch. We'll turn that on before we even get to the ring.
It's not even gonna be. It's not gonna be a pretty sight.
No,
it's not. So, Los Gringos, I hope they, doing stretches. I hope they in the gym. I hope they in the gym right now, doing, left, right, up, downs, everything. Because like I still gonna need every piece of ice in that ice house after we done with it.
Hey, I need this on film so I can go back and catch it.
I don't think you're gonna watch it after it because it's gonna get like because they don't. You don't touch the City Boys. You don't do that. You don't because we're not like we're cool. We can do the rest. You don't attack us.
Yeah, exactly.
Because and then because you think we sweet, we're not sweet.
I'm actually sour.
It's not. You sour part over here. It's the blue over here. Like you don't do that first.
I'm just laughing because, like no one really thinks what we're gonna do to them, and it's not gonna be a pretty sight.
I said this at the beginning. You guys are deceptively ass kicking. Like it's weird. So I feel sorry for them. Maybe we shouldn't put this on tape.
Yeah,
but
I mean, we shouldn't because it's giving very much popo.
It's giving not online. It's giving 5 o'clock noon here at 7.
Yeah.
All right. Last question, guys. What does the rest of 2023 hold in store for the City Boys?
So to be honest with you, we would love to work with Misty Marks. No, she speaks highly of us. We love her to death. We think she's like one of the, if not the best women's wrestlers in Texas, possibly the world. We love her to death. We love to work with the Grayson family. We think they are dope. And pretty much anybody in the Dog Pound Dojo, honestly, we think they are amazing talent. Let's see.
We would love.
I want to run it back with Culture Shock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, that's definitely on our bucket list.
Definitely want to run it back with Culture Shock.
But for City Boys as well, like just traveling and getting more exposure. Not necessarily like I said, I want to wrestle every single weekend. We are on the verge of doing that, and I just want to be able to be on bigger and better stages as what we're at right now, because I'm very grateful for where we're at right now.
Yes.
But we are about to take it to a whole new level starting this year. I've already feel it, how it's been manifesting this year. And I mean, it's a great question, but we take it day by day, and whatever comes our way will come our way, man.
And if you're in San Antonio, April 1st at the Ice House, if you want to see a drastic beatdown, April 1st at the Ice House, the Women Ice House, come see us.
Be there.
City Boys.
Be there.
Right.
And we have a dance party during our entrance, so if that isn't good enough for y'all to come out, then I don't know what will.
It's an ice party before the beatdown.
Be there at the Ice House April 1st. All right. Especially if you're in San Antonio, go out, support your local wrestling and have a good time. And these two are very much worth the money, the entrance fee. So go check them out if you're in San Antonio. But guys, I want to thank you for your time. Anybody you want to shout out? Shout them out. Please feel free.
Shout out to the Dog Pound Dojo. Shout out to them. Shout out to our teachers, Right Back Jazz. Shout out to Misty Marks again. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my family. Shout out to you.
And I want to shout out you.
Yeah. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for inviting us on this podcast.
Yes.
Oh, no problem.
Really fun.
Yes. Really, thank you so much for this is our first podcast together.
Really?
Honestly.
Oh, well, we got to have y'all back. Listen.
Yeah.
I know if it's anything the future is going to hold, what I think it's going to hold, I would love to have you back on Top of the World. Like, check in with me often. Let me know how y'all doing. I really want to follow you guys. Come hang out with me. You guys are more than welcome anytime. The door is always open. So, all right, man. For the City Boys, for here at No Gimmicks, thank you guys for tuning in.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. All right, man. So big thank you to the City Boys for coming through, hanging out with us today. Final thoughts, man. What you got?
Final thoughts is I have enjoyed this episode of No Gimmicks tonight. It's been very, very entertaining.
Very.
Yeah, this has been a good show. I hope the people out there have enjoyed this. Hope people out there enjoyed hearing the history of the business that I try to provide here on the show, and also my argument pretty much of I'm always right and you're wrong.
I didn't argue with you to be right.
Oh, listen, but you know what? It's I'm all for the debate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a debate.
It's a fun debate about sports entertainment, professional wrestling, whatever. But like I told you, it just really, as Peter Griffin once said, you know what grinds my gears is when people always say that the Road Warriors were Demolition, or Demolition was Road Warriors ripoffs. That pisses me off.
I see that it's a trigger.
Oh, you damn right.
It's a trigger.
Yeah.
So now I know.
other than that, all right, is we're on the road to WrestleMania. Don't forget this week in wrestling we got AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night. You got the Hall of Fame on Thursday or Friday night. Excuse me. You got SmackDown Friday night as well, and you also have WrestleMania Saturday, Sunday. Plus you got NXT as well, I believe, on Saturday. And there was something going on that NXT they can't even move tickets anymore, which is crazy because if you remember.
Hottest ticket in town.
Hottest ticket in town. It used to be NXT, but not anymore. Yeah, whatever. But other than that, I've enjoyed the show tonight, and I want to thank everybody out there for listening and supporting the No Gimmicks podcast and making us number 81 out of the top 100. And hopefully we keep shooting up the ladder here and let people know that we're just not some mark podcast. We're a podcast that we make you think. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Always remember.
Always.
We make you think on this podcast. And I want you to go back and like, was Frank Dee right about that? Was he telling the truth about that? Yeah, goddamn right I was. And that's the bottom line.
That's up for debate. That's up for debate.
Go on the encyclopedia of sports entertainment. It's called the WWE Network on Peacock. It's all on there for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, make sure if you're in the LA area, which
Inglewood.
I said in the LA area, which includes Inglewood. I didn't say LA specifically, but if you're in that area, make sure if you're going out to WrestleMania, which is in Inglewood, that you stop by and you support some of these local wrestling promotions. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff there that weekend. I know Impact is going to be there with New Japan as well. They're going to be doing the Multiverse Unite on Thursday. You got WrestleCon that whole weekend. Plus everything Frank Dee said. Like, there's something for everybody, no matter what you're into. All the hardcores, the pure wrestling fans, like there's something for everybody. And that's one thing I learned on WrestleMania is that there's literally stuff everywhere. So make sure you.
How dare they piggyback off of WrestleMania?
Damn it!
They're taking my money, damn it.
But yeah, there's all types of events in that area. So make sure if that's not your flavor, like there's something out there for you. So make sure you go out there.
Go out there and support. Absolutely. Go out there and support these indie wrestling companies because they are the superstars of tomorrow.
Yep.
And go support these dudes anyways. These dudes don't make a lot of money. You feel me? Go out there and buy the merch. You feel me? Go out there and support these guys that's out there busting their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go out there and support. Just go out there and be a fan in general. You don't have to be an asshole or a dick. You don't have to be Frank Dee. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's fun sometimes, but don't be that.
Public baby.
But yeah, special thank you to Dog Pound Championship Wrestling and the City Bois for coming through today. Really enjoyed you guys. Make sure if you are not on our Patreon, again, if you are listening to this podcast and not here live, follow us on Patreon, subscribe, and come hang out with us and be a part of that conversation. But till then, hit with your tagline, Frankie D.
Yeah, so for everybody out there that's listening right now, all right, in order to control the pet population, have your pets spayed or neutered, all right? And I acknowledge the tribal chief.
Same. All right, peace out, everybody.